Hello everyone, welcome back to MalStorm Gaming. My name is Malachi Gardner, and today I'm going to be reviewing Whitetail Wilderness Woodland Pursuit, a game about hunting deer by Kevin Shaud. So what is Whitetail Wilderness Woodland Pursuit? Well, for one thing, it's a tongue twister, but it's a game designed by Kevin Shaud about hunting white-tailed deer in western Pennsylvania. And in it, you're going to take your hunter and you're going to be exploring the forest, trying to find a good place to hunt, and then you're hopefully going to find, identify, and then shoot a large buck. And you're going to gain points based off of the size of the buck, and so you're just trying to find the biggest buck. So that's just a brief summary of what you're doing inside Whitetail Wilderness Woodland Pursuit. If you'd like to learn more about the game and watch a game being played, you can watch my playthrough, which should be up here if you're interested. So what do I think of the game? Well, I actually really enjoy it. I don't think I've actually seen many other hunting games around. This is the only one I've played personally, and I think it really captures the feeling of hunting very well. And I really enjoy this theme personally because I grew up in western Pennsylvania and I would go out hunting, and I really enjoyed that. And this game is about hunting deer in the part of the world where I'm originally from, so that's just kind of cool. I think it really captures the feeling of hunting pretty well. I also really like the hand management inside the game. I really like how you have a handful of cards, and the game ends when your deck runs out. So you have 40 cards, and when you run out of your cards, the game is over, and so you really need to use your cards as efficiently as possible. So each card is able to be used in like 4 different ways, I think. So that is a really interesting thing there. So you can play the card as its action, and that'll give you extra dice to roll for when you are doing that action. Or you can discard it to move. Most cards allow you to move 1 or 2 spaces if you discard them. So you might want to use that so you can be able to move around. And then you also are able to discard your cards to re-roll dice or add +1 bonuses to your dice to bump it up to the number you'd like it to be. So I really like that you have 4 different uses for your cards. You're going to need to move during this game, so you're just going to need to choose one card they don't really want as much to discard. But then when you're doing a test for an action, you need to decide, okay, do I want to discard this card to roll 2 additional dice? Or would I rather just keep the couple of dice I have and roll those and then use the card to re-roll a die or give a +1 to a die? So you have options there, and it is interesting. So you could roll 2 extra dice, or you could bump a die or re-roll 1 die. So it's just kind of an interesting choice, and I really enjoyed that. And then you have certain cards that you can play to give you passive bonuses, and then of course, okay, do I want to play that card to get a passive bonus, or would I rather do a really powerful thing right now? Now you're usually going to want to do the passive ability, because it's a slight bonus throughout the entire game. But in my most recent playthrough of this game, I had a card that I could have played for the passive bonus, but instead I used it for the really powerful one-time use action, and I think that that was the best choice. So it is interesting. I like how you have a bunch of uses for your cards, and you need to figure out what time to use which card for what thing, and I just really enjoy that. Another thing I like about this game is the push your luck elements that are in it. You're able to discard cards to affect your die rolls so that they're more accurate and are more likely to do what you want, but you're burning through your deck that, again, only has 40 cards, and when you run out of those cards, the game's over and you lost. So you want to save your cards, but you also need to spend them so that you actually are able to succeed. But figuring out when you should use those cards and when you shouldn't, and you should just try to succeed with the dice you get for free, is an interesting choice, and I do like that. And then, like I discussed earlier, even after you've decided to spend a card, you need to choose which of the 3 different ways that you want to spend it to affect the die roll. So do you want to play it to just get extra dice? Do you want to discard it to re-roll a die after you already rolled? Or would you like to just add a +1 to your die? I just find that really enjoyable, and I think it is a really fun element of the game. So now I'd like to talk about some negatives I've had with the game. Now, like I've said, I do really enjoy this game, but no game is perfect, and I think it is very important that you all know some of the things that I did not enjoy as much about this game so that you can make a more informed decision. I do think that this game captures the feeling of hunting really well, but there's another element of hunting, which is you go out there, you spend 2 hours hunting, and you don't see anything. And that is very common, and if you've gone hunting, you know that's how it often goes. And so that's kind of how this game can go too. So you might be playing a game, and the goal of the scenario, you're playing the opening day scenario, which is kind of the vanilla, the basic scenario. There's no special rules or anything like that. It's just the core game. And in that, you're just trying to shoot the biggest buck. But you can play through an entire game where all you see are doe. And maybe you do see a buck, but it's a young buck that is worth nothing, and so you don't want to shoot it because it's too young. And then you end the game because you run out of cards, and you did nothing. You didn't even see a buck. You didn't even shoot and then miss. You just didn't see anything at all. And that is not always the most fun thing. Now, the opposite is also true. In the first game I played of this, I was again doing the opening day scenario where I was just trying to shoot the biggest buck. The first location I explored, I did a hunting action, and I saw a large buck. Just the first thing. I only saw one deer in the entire game, and I don't remember exactly how big it was, how many points it was worth, but it was something pretty large, and I was able to just see this first thing, and then I shot it, and the game was over in 2-3 minutes, and it took that much time to set up the game. So both sides can be true. You can just walk out your door and shoot something, or you can be out there hunting for the entire game and not see anything worth shooting. And so that does actually feel like hunting, where that can happen in hunting. You can go out there and see something first thing, or you can be out there for hours and not see anything. Now, luckily, the game is so short. I can't really imagine this game going longer than 30 minutes. Maybe if you're playing your first game and you are taking your time rereading rules and things like that, it could be kind of long, but it is such a fast game. You're going through your 40 cards super quickly. I don't think it's going to last that long. And so if you play a whole game without seeing anything, or the game ends in 2 minutes after you see something, then you can just reshuffle all the decks and play again. And it's no big deal because it's so short. But I have found the game feels anticlimactic most of the time, whether or not I win or lose. If I go out there and see nothing, then that can feel kind of anticlimactic. It's not even that I shot a buck, I fired and missed. It's just that I didn't see anything. And so that can feel kind of disappointing. But then the opposite, like I said, is also true, where I can just go out there and see something, immediately shoot it, and then win. And that's not even all that. And that isn't even much of a grand climax. And now the best games are where you've gone through 90% of your deck, and then you finally see a deer, and you shoot it, and you win. Now that's actually kind of what happened inside the playthrough I did, so that was a very good game. That was very fun, and I really enjoyed that one. But unfortunately, I feel like most of the games I play of this do feel kind of anticlimactic. I enjoy 98% of the game immensely, but then when you get down to the last turn of the game, it just feels anticlimactic. And that is not super enjoyable for me. But again, I enjoyed 98% of the game, and I had a blast playing it. I just don't enjoy how it ends most of the time. But again, like I said, that is how hunting often goes. So I think the designer, Kevin Shaud, really captured the feeling of hunting in this game. But some of those elements of hunting, like going out your door and shooting something immediately, or being in there for hours and not finding anything, aren't always the most enjoyable inside of a board game, even though those things can be enjoyable in actual hunting. Now, that said, I would still heartily recommend this game, because the vast majority of the time spent playing this game is very fun. Even though the game is anticlimactic, I still find it to be a very fun game. My final verdict of the game is that Whitetail Wilderness Woodland Pursuit is an immensely enjoyable game that captures the feeling of hunting extremely well and is playable in a very short time. And so that is why I'm going to be giving this game a 7 out of 10. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all will check this game out on the Game Crafter and consider buying yourself a copy, because I think that Kevin Shaud did a great job designing this game, and I think that Jenny Eckbush did a great job with the art. I think it's really pretty, and I definitely recommend this game. Please like this video and subscribe to MalStorm Gaming to see more content just like this. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a great day. Happy gaming!